So SmackDown is over. A good show. Obviously a show that was definitely building towards WrestleMania even next week. But this is things you might have missed.
Oh, happy day! Oh, happy day!
And before we get started, make sure you've hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, it would be appreciated if you hit the subscribe button too. So without doubt, the biggest segment of the show, the main event, the contract signing with Roman and Brock. But first off, did you see this security guard? He did not look happy to be there at all, but maybe we know why later on. We'll talk about it. But of course, Paul Heyman cut a hell of a promo, bigging up this WrestleMania main event, comparing it to Hogan versus Andre the Giant, to Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, and even the moment that Brock Lesnar ended Undertaker's streak. Give them the due. That honestly built it up. It made you feel like, okay, they're investing in this. Without a doubt, the segment had everything, including a cliffhanger as we went to commercial break. But that's okay. Work a commercial break into a promo. Something new for WWE to trial. I'm okay with that. It was cool. But I did have to ask you a question. If Roman Reigns is the head of the table, does that make Brock Lesnar the butt of the table? Don't tell him I said that. Especially after what we witnessed on SmackDown as Roman left the ring saying everything belonged to him. Everyone worked for him, including the security. And the fight was on. Oh, he killed him. He killed security. He literally threw a chair at a dude. The big contract signing table that they use, he run that into one of them, poor dude. And of course, German suplexes, F5s. Oh, it was chaos, and I loved it. Fair play to WWE because it did make me care more about the WrestleMania match. And that's its purpose. So, yeah, well done, WWE. Now, a lot of you asked me if we'd talk about this on Friday night, things you might have missed. And of course we will. Cesaro. Yesterday, the news broke about the Swiss Superman's WWE contract status. And he has left the WWE. Cesaro deciding not to re-sign. Obviously, he could still re-sign. I don't think he's going to. I think that's why he's walked away. He didn't like the offer, apparently. But I think he's AEW bound. I know it's so easy to say, but I think he fits in perfectly with AEW. He doesn't have a no-compete, so he could show up there next Wednesday if he wanted to. I think Cesaro is going to be perfectly fine in pro wrestling. We have, though, got some amazing news about 2K22 that broke during SmackDown. We heard you and are as pumped as you are. The full roster reveal is next week. Oh my God. Cross your fingers time, because this is the moment we find out. Is the Fiend Bray Wyatt in 2K22? I'm not honestly expecting him at this point. They haven't teased him. They haven't shown him. There's been no hint of it. There's been other release stars shown. You gotta wonder. I think it might have been too far away from the game's actual release to include the Fiend. But we're gonna find out. The Kiss Cam was back. Okay, you know what that means. YouTube! Kiss me. Mwah. I'm never doing that again. Los Lotharios took on the New Day. And do you know why I say this every time? Los Lotharios, man. Every week I forget how good they are. And they remind me how good they are. But of course the New Day were victorious. But the talking point was this. They got a little car. Oh, I want a little car. Where can I get a little car? Well, you can go and buy a little car because it's a Mattel toy. WWE obviously promoting that product. And I don't blame them. They've done this before. Makes perfect sense. The boss, Sasha Banks, has got a brand new t-shirt on WWE shop, which is perfectly timed, seeing how she was back on SmackDown, wearing a nice variant of the Sailor Moon attire. Honestly, I think a lot of fans enjoyed that attire, so that's why she's brought that back. Can't blame her at all. She was in action on SmackDown against Shotzi. Story there in the past, so I like that. But I don't like the fact that they just had Shotzi lose really, really quick. Like, Shotzi, you should use a local enhancement talent for this. Put Sasha over someone, it's fine. It doesn't have to be Shotzi, because you do bury Shotzi a little bit in your roster when you do stupid things like this. But then we found out Sasha Banks and Naomi are going to be a women's tag team and the next WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And okay, I think this again speaks volumes of the fact WWE does not have a women's tag division. However, at least there's history. Former Team Bad. Bring Tamina in. Get Tamina out that 24/7 title division. Put her back with Sasha and Naomi as a manager. We got money being printed, Vince. Speaking of Vince, he's going to be a special guest on the Pat Mcafee show next Thursday. Oh my God, all eyes have to be on this. Vince doesn't do this, so this is going to be huge. What is Vince McMahon going to say? And what is Pat Mcafee going to ask him? Oh my God, if you watch the one with Brock, this could get real interesting. After weeks of waiting, Zaya Lee was in action on SmackDown. Honestly, I was hoping they hadn't given up on Xia Li, and they haven't, as Zaya Lee defeated Natalya. And do you know what? It was okay. Good showing for Xia Li. She looked good. That's all that matters. But then, obviously, they seemingly started sort of showing you Shayna and Xia Li. Is that going to possibly be a match heading towards Mania? Maybe even at Mania? I think they could go really well together. What a clash of styles that would be. I'm down. The Usos have a new One and Done t-shirt on WWE Shop. And this t-shirt is good because if you're scared to be a wrestling fan, you can just say you're a One Direction fan and you're fine. As we found out, the Usos will take on the Viking Raiders next week for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Also next week, Sami Zayn will defend the Intercontinental title against Ricochet. Oh, that's going to be good. I'm all for that. Push Ricochet more, please, Vince. I need this match. And look at that render of Sami Zayn. Honestly, I love it. And of course, Ronda Rousey will take on Sonya Deville. Next week's SmackDown is literally packed. I'm all for it. I think this is going to be a fun week next week for sure. But can I just add, what was you thinking, Sonya? Attacking Ronda Rousey again? I mean, now you've got a match with her. It's not going to bode well. I got to give WWE some credit, though, because this was a good promo from Ronda. I don't think the delivery was great, but what she said actually was good. When Ronda was talking about her mum and being inspiration and wanting to come back and taking inspiration from her mum and stuff, it at least gives her a personality, a character, and a reason. And someone like Ronda usually doesn't have that. She's just there for the payday. We all know it. But to give her a little bit of character, yes, more of that. Oh, and talking of characters, Happy Corbin was meant to go one-on-one with Drew McIntyre this week. And of course, it didn't really happen, did it? I did notice, though, I don't know if you did, but of course, Madcap Moss was being made fun of by Corbin over his neck injury. And instead, we got Madcap Moss versus Drew McIntyre in an Elimination Chamber rematch. Madcap Moss still selling his neck, still obviously showing us that it hurts. Obviously, he's fine. He's medically cleared. Obviously, he wouldn't be wrestling. We know that. And I love the fact he got a lot of offense in. He looked like he was angry. He looked like he could beat up Drew McIntyre. He just needs a slight gimmick change, or massive gimmick change. And I think he's away. I mean, him running 3 times in the ropes just to run into a Claymore kick is not good for Madcap Moss. And then, of course, we got the stare down. This is definitely the Mania match. Corbin, McIntyre. But WWE, when Drew points his sword, you don't go to a replay of something earlier on. You capture the moment, because that's what the whole character is. Oh, WWE, what are you doing? Now, I watched this earlier on today, and do you know what? It's really good. Bobby Lashley and everyone has tweeted this out, and it is an interview. It's a round table with Lashley, Big E, and Kofi. It was uploaded to WWE's YouTube earlier today. Obviously, the black WWE champions of the modern era, talking about why it's so meaningful and impactful to them. And do you know what? Listening to them talk, man, honestly, go and watch it. It's really, really good. But that's all. Let me know your thoughts on SmackDown in the comments section down below. I honestly thought it was an okay show. Lots of potential for next week. So I'm going to give it a very, very nice 7.5 out of 10. So there, you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Peace!